Okay.
All right, so how's everyone doing today?
Great.
Good.
Wonderful.
Let's pick one word to describe our feelings. Dan.
Anticipatory.
Becca.
Sunny. No way. I also was going to say sunny.
I'm going to say birthday.
Woo! Is it your birthday today?
Today I'm on the dark side of 30, so I'm in the shadow.
Oh my gosh, well, you look vibrant, so, just grab it. Yeah. Okay, so we are meeting today. I wanted to do a quick, just like, breathe it out, okay? All right, let's lift our hands up. And let them out. And a little quick head roll. And the other side. Okay. All right. We're in the last stretch. How is the writing going? I know I checked in with you guys during the week and we filled out the tracker, but unfortunately I'm not there in person. So how's it going?
It's going well. The students have finished their 5-paragraph essay about somebody that they admire. So we did the conclusion for that with the graphic organizer. I put in the tracker all the other graphic organizers that I used for those friends. And then we are publishing at the moment. So like we're rewriting it and putting pictures in.
It's going well. We are working on a second draft, and again, good conclusions, restating the introduction, and what I'm trying to have these writers do is find some other information, not just their own thoughts, to back up their opinions. Looking up information online to support their opinions. So some of them are, these are writers who are not the highest, so it's a new thing for them, but we'll get it out of them.
Yes. Okay. How about the like small group pullouts? Is that working? Are you how are our focal students? Like, are they? I don't know. How is their like? How are their feelings? I always like to go to that because that's really important for our students. Are they like stressed out? Are they there? Are they, confident? Are they getting frustrated?
I think it depends on the focal student. So, like, I have one student who really needs some, like, heavy scaffolded supports and, like, really needs me to help her to, like, craft these sentences, especially for the conclusion. So she has been able to orally tell me what she wants to write, and then I help her to, like, write it, which I think is, like, the language experience approach, and then, for the other... Am I doing 2 or 3? I forget. For the boys, and 3. For the other 3, they have more language knowledge. So for the I'll just say MR. For her, she is able to craft the conclusion with the graphic organizer. She was able to do that on her own. I did pull her in the small group and work with her on that, but I just briefly went over it, and then she was able to independently do it. For Jay, he is a pretty big English learner, so I think it was more, he was able to do it, but then I had to reread it, and we both reread it, and we put in some periods where they needed to be, because it was like a long run-on. So he was able to. And then with E, he was also able to craft a conclusion, but I would say that he needed some pretty heavy scaffolded support. So we did the graphic organizer, and then we rehearsed what we were going to say before we wrote it down.
And was Jay female, the one who was orally?
J was female. Yes, the oral one first.
So one student is she's just very happy and likes to work, and that's Kay, and she's one that needs to sort of go over. I think should go over her work with me, and to make sure she's not sort of repeating the same information again. And so that's something that we're going to do this week. And then the other student is kind of a reluctant student. She doesn't really, she won't really do much work on her own. So she needs to sit down with someone to finish her work. She's kind of still in the middle of her writing, but on her own she won't really do much for many other reasons that we won't go into. But so we're going to have to work with her to add more content to her opinions, because she's got like a paragraph so far, so she needs to add to it.
So you think that her maybe reluctancy is like social emotional, just
Yes.
and
Lifestyle.
trauma based.
Yes.
And so, will she work if someone is just like sitting there? Like, so did she just need the body, maybe?
She needs a teacher, scaffolding, and sort of guiding her. So she'll do the work if you're with her. Yes.
She needs a lot of
Yeah. She's not self-motivated.
support
Yeah.
and confidence building
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Thanks. How was the rubric? Let's look at I'm gonna bring this up so we can see some of what we did. Thank you so much, you guys, for taking your time to really focus on our students and implement this strategy. This might be so. Look.
Oh, the tracker.
Yeah, this is the tracker, right? So I know you both filled it out, and I really appreciate it. So, and we are looking at kind of more just these are, small group assessments, the small conclusion rubric, and we got ones from. So we did start it here in April, all the way to up to here, and I mean we're seeing improvement. There's 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I mean that's a good. Yeah, of course.
I think the students started with basically limited knowledge about conclusions. I think for second graders, conclusions is a little bit tricky. Introductions may be a little bit easier than conclusions, because usually just, especially for opinion, they'll write their last reason and then they'll just say, sometimes it's like a thank you for reading or something else, but it's not like a formal conclusion with the restate. So coming in with very limited knowledge about conclusions, I think that's why they were at ones at the beginning. But then as we started to teach into it, they were able to use some of those ideas and do recommendations and suggestions and other things to end in a strong way.
Similar for the Vikings.
Yeah, so it was very helpful.
Yes.
Yay! I love that. This is kind of a new thing for me, so I really appreciate you guys being so supportive, and I hope that I've provided the kind of support. I hope that you guys have felt heard, and I really value your colleagueship. No, professionalism. Yes, colleagueship is not a word, is it? I don't know. Sure, we're being creative here. Anyway, so next steps, we're gonna continue, and then the thing is, maybe next week we're gonna do the post assessment. So can we do that? We'll probably do that in the beginning of the week. Knock it out of the park. If you guys if you could, maybe I'll touch base with you and see if I can come in for it, maybe and to observe.
I have a sub tomorrow, so I'm gonna do
Okay.
a pre-post assessment where I'm giving them another prompt
Oh, okay.
and having them try to write it so I can see where they are with the conclusions,
Okay.
and then I'll do the post assessment next week.
Okay. And what's the prompt again?
Favorite game,
Game.
right?
Oh, are we doing that again?
we can have a choice, maybe?
We did best game as an initial.
Yes. Right.
So I think just to give background knowledge maybe on where you're coming from with that is when during ILT we were talking about if you're giving the same prompt at the beginning and giving the same prompt at the end, it's less about the content and it's more about the actual writing. Is that what
Yeah.
you were thinking?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So you want to do best game again? You want to
Sorry.
do best game again?
You guys are awesome.
You want to do best game again?
I think yes, but like maybe they choose a different game this time, just so that it's not so repetitive. You know what I mean?
So you can see
There's a lot of games out there,
Okay, yes,
so they
I
can
can do that. I
be
didn't.
creative about their games.
But if they do choose the same game, because I have noticed that a lot of, like, with my research and, everything that I'm doing, that, thinking is a huge issue for our kids as far as thinking what to write. And they'll sit there for, however many, and they just really can't think. So if they really can't think of another game, is it possible for them to do the same one, just to take the anxiety away sometimes, because I feel like, for me, writing, I'll stare at the screen for a long time, and then I have to, do a lap or something like that. So,
Yeah, and I think like broadening it out. So like it could be like soccer is a game, or like sports could be a game, like board games.
okay.
Hide and seek, tag is a game.
Okay, so not just video games. Okay, good.
Could be video games. I'm trying to
I know, me too.
Tired of hearing about video games.
I know. I told my middle school elective, I was like, whatever. We're doing artist training cards with my 4th and 5th graders. They love those, but I'm like trying to think of a theme, and I'm like, no video games. They can't. They're always coming back to the video game, and I'm like, what did you read? What did you write? And they're like, can it be blah blah blah? Yeah, one of them wanted to do the brain rot, and I'm like, how is that a what are you reading there? Is it like I don't know. I'm very confused.
You clearly don't have teenagers right now. Just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
I have a teenage cat.
Yeah, mine is she's more like preteen, but she's needy dog. So yeah, okay, so we're gonna do that in the beginning of next week, post-assessment. I just wanted to, show some appreciations for you guys. I appreciate Dan, because Dan is always so fun, and he's got the same sense of humor as me, and he lives across the street, and I'm gonna miss him so much. And I appreciate you being part of my community of practice on your last run as an educator, even though you're always gonna be one.
All right. I always appreciate each of your unique energy, and you each have your own sense of humor, which I appreciate. And do you really live across the street, or are you talking in school?
In school.
Okay.
I always say street instead of always. I'm like, can you get round across the street?
I appreciate Miss Randall for helping to lead this group and to help us think more deeply about how we're teaching conclusions, and the tracker was helpful for how to look at it over time, and to Heidi for making that tracker as well.
I appreciate you all as professionals, and Randall for deepening her educational and professional world, and taking risks, and that June 4th is coming soon.
And break. All right. Thank you guys so much.